But Supriya Shrinate, I want to bring you in on this. The question is, there's a little bit of confusion on where the Congress stands on it. You yourself have conducted a press conference when George Soros went out and criticized exactly in similar terms of the word usage of Rahul Gandhi. You said it's none of your business. So when Rahul Gandhi steps onto foreign soil and he, and quote me if I'm wrong, says that EU nations are really not reacting to what really Narendra Modi is doing back home. So are we looking at seeking foreign intervention when we snubbed it back home in India?
Okay, very quickly, Preeti, because, you know, the other panelists, I was happy that somebody was on mute and we would have had a peaceful evening, but that said, this is just in the spirit of Holi. I hope she won't start shouting over this. But,
all right, okay. I hope both of you will allow each other. Yes, go ahead.
I'll play out a 40-second bite for you. Yes, I'll play out a 40-second bite for you. She spoke for almost 4 minutes. 40 second ki meri bite suna dijiye aap logon ko. It's important that people hear it.
It's our problem, right? It's an internal problem. It's an Indian problem. And the solution is going to come from inside. It's not going to come from outside. However, the scale of Indian democracy means that democracy in India is a global public good. Right? It impacts way further than our boundaries.
So when Rahul Gandhi ji is in London and when he says, and he was asked a question on India's weakening democracy, and he was asked specifically on foreign intervention, I am re-quoting him. This is our problem, this is our internal problem, this is an Indian problem, and a solution to this will be found from inside India, not outside. But in the same breath, he goes on to say that a country that inhabits 1.4 billion people, 140 crore log Hindustan ke loktantric ढांचे में रहते हैं, हमारा लोकतंत्र will also determine and impact democracies on this planet. You know, when he says that, in one go he's telling nations that start taking Indian democracy far more seriously than you do, because what happens to us is going to determine global democracies. He's actually giving India a pivotal position. If I were a member of the BJP, I would get up and applaud. But members of the BJP on this channel and some of the out-of-job ex-ministers do press conferences misquoting him. I mean, what sort of sham is this? Either you decide. I just want to say one thing. The BJP has to decide one of the two things. Is Rahul Gandhi somebody that they collectively respond to? Yes, they do. That means he's saying things which rattle them. That means he says things which, you know, 96 hours his Cambridge lecture, they're still going on and on and on about it. And Pegasus, they want to talk on Pegasus. The Supreme Court was told by the committee that was set up to probe Pegasus that the government of the day did not cooperate. They want to talk about Mr. Modi saying stuff on foreign soil. Mr. Modi ने foreign soil पर कहा है, हिंदुस्तानी सोचते थे हमने क्या पाप किया, हम हिंदुस्तान में पैदा हुए. And it's a series of things that he has said all across. When he says,
I'm going to come right back.
20 years on foreign soil, you think that's bringing glory
all
to
right.
India?
Supriya Shrinate, I'll come right back. Supriya Shrinate, okay, I'm going to come right back to you. Sanju Verma, the question is, you know, I have at least 4 instances. Madison Square, where the Prime Minister criticized the opposition. Why is it that the government becomes India and India becomes the government, or the Prime Minister becomes India and India becomes the Prime Minister? Why can't one on foreign soil criticize the Prime Minister and the government, but why does it have to be insult to India?
You know, Preeti, that's a very straightforward question. And I'll just give you one response. You know, before coming to your question, I'm not going to hold back my punches. The Congress panelists said that, you know, BJP members, you know, should do this and do that. Excuse me, we don't need advice from an electorally debilitated party. Northeast mein aapka supra saaf ho gaya. You're reduced to 52 seats in Lok Sabha. Please go and give advice to your crown prince, or should I say clown prince, and stop lecturing us. You have no political credibility left. Now coming to your question, Preeti. You know, I completely agree with you. You know, BJP does not believe in what was told in 1970s, that Indira is India and India is Indira. No, we don't subscribe to that, you know, personality cult. Despite the fact that Prime Minister Modi is one of the most popular and powerful leaders of the world, and this has been said on umpteen occasions, very recently by his Italian counterpart, Giorgia Meloni. My problem, Preeti, is you can criticize the ruling dispensation. That is your right under Article 19 of the Constitution. But when you say that I would urge the European Union and the US to restore democracy in India, he said, I urge, I'm quoting him ad verbatim. He said, I urge the US and the European Union to restore democracy. Is this man talking about balkanization? Is this man not happy with the fact that today India is a proud, one of the largest sovereign democratic republics whose vaccine Maitri, where we actually gave vaccines to more than 200 million people in over 150 countries, which has been lauded, not just by Bill Gates, but by somebody like an Antonio Guterres, the United Nations Security General, who said that India's leadership in one of the worst pandemics in 102 years is a classic textbook case of what leaders globally should do when there is a crisis. He said India was the only country which reached out without fear or favor. But have you seen the Congress talk about that? Tell me one thing, Preeti. You and me may be on the opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of our political affiliations.
Ma'am, how do you know that?
Hypothetical assumption.
I'm sure Supriya Shrinate will say the same thing.
I'm making a hypothetical assumption, Preeti.
Okay.
But 10 seconds. I'm sure, and I've never seen you, I watch your channel very regularly, especially your show. I've never seen you undermine the brave hearts of this country. And for Rahul Gandhi to go on foreign soil and name the Pulwama terror attack in which 40 of our brave hearts were martyred as just another car bomb blast. This is the same Rahul Gandhi who's a repeat offender, and recently when there was a fractious issue between the Indian and the Chinese in the Tamang sector, despite Rajnath Singh, despite Amit Shah, despite S. Jaishankar saying not an inch of land was usurped, this man goes and says 2,000 square kilometers were usurped by PLA. क्यों आपको PLA ने आकर कान में बताया था राहुल गांधी जी? And how dare you undermine
I'm going to cut across back to Supriya Shrinate, and I'm going to verbatim, because you know, none of you, both of you, actually rather I'd say, don't hold your punches.